Hey, and we're back here at NRA meeting and exhibits.
Yes.
I get it. I screw it up every time.
It's okay.
Every time. It's the 144th.
Yeah,
one.
It's been around for a while, huh?
And this is the Smith & Wesson Inside the Chamber in Miss Julie Golob.
That's right.
My golly. Got that right. That's the only thing today I think I've got right.
That's
is
all
that
right.
She is the captain of the Smith & Wesson shooting team and does a marvelous job. Of course, she's got some great shooters.
I do. We have some very talented shooters on our team, don't we?
Oh my goodness! I tell you what, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Between the Michelicks and Doug Koenig, and of course all of our non-professional, day job kind of kids that are doing great things.
The non-professionals, I don't even know how you can call them.
I know. Just another national title,
Yeah. They win everything they shoot. It's just unbelievable. I tell you that. I love to shoot, but I get around you guys and I'm thinking, why do I even bother?
No, stop it.
Why do I even bother?
Stop. No.
I look at some of your titles and I think, how do you do this? You're so young. How have you done all this? I mean, I look at this. I've got a page of them here, folks, and I can't even. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. I mean, I'm not even going to start, but it's. It's just pages and pages. It's just pages and pages, folks.
There are a couple.
A couple. Here's a short list. I'll try this, and I bet this hasn't been updated. 13-time USPSA Ladies National Champion, 7-time Ladies World Speed Shooting Champion, 4-time IDPA Ladies Champion, U.S. Army Female Athlete of the Year. I remember that one.
Yeah.
The Winter Nationals, 3 times Lady Champion, 2-time Bianchi Cup Ladies Champion. I mean, I'm tired of reading it. It just goes on and on and on and on.
It's okay. I can't keep up either.
Is there something that you haven't accomplished in the shooting world that you want to, Julie?
I have been a bridesmaid at the IPSC World Shoot a number of times. That's like my nemesis match. So at some point in my career, I'm going to win a World Shoot. So it's the only thing the only thing I haven't won yet. So
I bet you do. What gets me is that you do all of this, page after page, and yet you still find time to write books, and you're a mom and a wife, and you love to cook, and a very successful hunter, and a spokesperson for several companies, and that alone keeps you busy. How do you do all this? I give anything for just your energy, not much less your shooting skills.
I'm really fortunate because I get to do the things I love for a living, and then the hobbies that I have just benefit my family in general. So hunting and cooking and photography and all that stuff. There's tons of pictures of my kids, so that sort of thing. So it all works out well.
Well, and you've mastered social media as well as anybody in the business. You're all over Facebook and Twitter and these sorts of things. But let's get back to your shooting.
Okay.
Let's do that a little bit.
Let's talk about shooting.
You obviously, I guess you started with your dad when you were a wee child.
Yeah, just a little sport on the range with him growing up. I actually didn't start shooting until I was 14, but I was always on the range with him. That was like daddy-daughter time, and I actually started my career in shooting as a range officer, as a worker bee. And so I got a really good foundation of firearm safety skills from watching people and making sure people were safe on the range, and that's something I've been able to build on.
Now, when you went in the Army, did you go in the Army with the thought of getting on the shooting team?
I was recruited specifically to go on the team, yes.
So they knew. They came after it and said, well, we want her to shoot. We're not going to send her to some combat deal to do KP and all that. No. We're going to get her to shoot.
I did paint a few rocks, but...
Don't we all? But that was to shoot,
yes,
right?
Yes. I was recruited in 1994 at my first national championships. The coach of the Army shooting team was there at the Army Marksmanship Unit, and he said,
And you decided to do that for that opportunity, or were there other reasons you decided? In other words, I know a lot of times the military will help with education and help on these sorts of things.
Yeah.
What was the leading factor there?
Ever since I was a little kid, growing up on the range with my dad, I got to see people like Jerry Michlik, Doug Koenig, Rob Latham, all of these great names. I've got pictures of me holding a timer behind them as a little kid. And I knew I wanted to be a pro shooter.
Right.
And joining the Army was the best way to do that, because I would have an opportunity to try to win my first nationals. And if it didn't work out for some reason, I would have a career skill and I would have college money. So
there you go.
It was a no-brainer for me.
Free ammo.
That was a lot of good free ammo. You never turned down the free ammo.
You know what? We have a short clip here of you shooting, if you don't mind. We're going to run that thing. We'll get the Mark to run that for us here.
Is it a good one?
I watched it. It's pretty good. The lady can shoot. How fun was that? See, it was a good one, right?
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was kind of exciting. Had a little energy in it.
Yeah, there you go.
It was kind of fun
to
watch. Oh, me. So let's talk about the guns.
Yes.
Let's talk about the guns themselves. I see you shooting a M&P 9 all the time.
I shoot a lot of M&P product because I spent, in my Army career, I spent all of my time shooting the open division, which is the compensator, red dot optic, crazy bells and whistles race guns. And
armorers working on them and tweaking them and
all
carry
the time,
it on.
And they malfunctioned so much. It was like so much work. And then when I first shot the M&P, it was in 40 even, and I was just shocked at how soft it shot, for how light it was. And at the time, I was shooting a lot of stock gun divisions in production. And I knew, like, this is, I could grab an M&P anywhere and be competitive with it. And that was a really big thing for me.
Why the 40? Why did you start with a 40?
Well, the 40 was the first that we came out with.
That's true.
Right.
That's right.
And then I actually came on board with Smith & Wesson. We came out with a 9. And that's pretty much exclusively what I shoot in competition. IDPA, stock service pistol, 9mm, USPSA production, 9mm, IPSC, all of those things.
That's right. I'd forgotten the 40.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten about that.
We kicked it off with the 40.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So now you shoot the 9 pretty much, I guess the Pro Series. And
the Pro Series from the Performance Center. And then every now and again, I grab my Performance Center 9mm 1911 too, because I love that gun too.
That's pretty sweet.
Because a girl's got to have a 1911, right?
Right.
And so I shoot a few competitions with that. A little bit of revolver here and there. But I'm mostly an M&P girl.
Well, let's talk about the revolver.
Yes.
When you got to grab a revolver, what is it?
So I just got a new 929, one of Jerry's Performance Center guns. So I'm super stoked to shoot that. But my favorites, I've shot a good bit of 625 with 45 caliber, and then I have a 627 V comp. That's a race revolver, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. You're always going to know it's going to run because it's a revolver, and then it's got all the compensator and red dot and aim point on there. So
what about a carry gun?
I love the M&P Shield. That is my go-to carry gun. The Bodyguard 380 is a close second. But the Shield is just the right size. Of course, we shoot the IDPA Backup Gun Nationals every year at Smith & Wesson, and it's such a cool thing to be able to take the gun that you actually carry and go shoot a match with it. It's the translation is really, it's great.
The Shield is a wonderful gun.
It is.
It may be the hottest selling gun in America today.
It is. It
is unbelievable. Sometimes they're a little hard to find, folks. Keep looking, but they're 24/7. They're trying to build these things.
You can even get them in California.
Yeah, they're just wonderful. So you have one. that you carry, what do you do with it? Comes out of the box, what do you do to it?
You know, the only thing I really do for all of my M&Ps is the most critical thing is change out the sights. I'm very particular about my sight picture, and most shooters are.
Yeah.
And especially on a carry gun, I want night sights. So
Yep.
I do change out the sights, but after that, it's good
You
to
don't
go.
need to do
You don't
anything.
need to do
That
it. And of course,
trigger's
you could do other things with it if you want to try.
Well, people like to have to personalize and
tinker.
so and tinker around, but they don't need to.
No, they don't. And
They really
you're ready
don't
to
need
go. No.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Julie, once again, I'm so honored to know you, and thank you so
Likewise.
much. I know people have demands on your time. I know they do.
I always make time for you.
Oh, Julie, it is an honor and a pleasure, and thank you for joining us
No,
today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we appreciate it.
Thanks.
Folks, thank you for joining us. It's an honor for you to be here as well. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central, and we'll throw all this thing back together again. Boy, we've got a real good lineup tomorrow. I don't even remember who else is going to be here. Chris Cox, I know, is going to be here. Jerry Micklick's going to be here.
There you go.
We've got a film clip of him setting one of his world records. I don't know what all we've got. It's just a bunch of excitement. I know that right here at the 144th NRA meetings and exhibits in the middle of Nashville, Tennessee, right here in the middle of the Smith & Wesson booth with all the things going on. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.